take 2 round trips on Acela, they get 1 free. Visit Amtrak.com for details.
They say the path chosen today prepares leaders for tomorrow. So I chose academics, excellence, and a diverse culture. My choice was clear. I am a graduate of Morgan State University.
Did you know that Morgan State University has educated more than half of the African American engineers, educators, and healthcare professionals in Maryland?
We make it easy to get involved by offering you a lot of fun choices like sports, student government, music, theater, dance, literature, and much more. NCCU's 109 campus groups are as varied as the students who join them.
In 2008, the legacy of the marching sound machine continues to thrive.
Welcome back to Hughes Stadium. Lexter Taylor along with Jackie Bowe. Phenomenal first half for Morgan State, 35-0 over Central. And Jackie, big time first half for the Bears.
Big time first half for the Bears. The Bears did everything they wanted to do and then some to get the job done quickly against the Eagles. The Eagles got a tough road for the second half.
Well, this is a college football game, and anytime you come to an HBCU game, you're going to have to involve the band. On the field right now is the North Carolina Central Eagles marching band. Jackie, man, that was nice. North Carolina Central's band. I mean, that's what you expect. Halftime, that's what I enjoy. I saw you bouncing a little bit.
Oh, yeah, man. That's war out there right now. Right now, the Eagles are trying to get a little self-respect back.
Well, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
What's your destination?
They say the path chosen today prepares leaders for tomorrow. So I chose academics, excellence, and a diverse culture. My choice was clear. I am a graduate of Morgan State University.
Did you know that Morgan State University has educated more than half of the African American engineers, educators, and healthcare professionals in Maryland?
We make it easy to get involved by offering you a lot of fun choices like sports, student government, music, theater, dance, literature, and much more. NCCU's 109 campus groups are as varied as the students who join them.
Welcome back to Hughes Stadium. Right now it's halftime, and this marching band of Morgan State University is on the field.
members take 2 round trips on Acela, they get 1 free. Visit Amtrak.com for details.
They say the path chosen today prepares leaders for tomorrow. So I chose academics, excellence, and a diverse culture. My choice was clear. I am a graduate of Morgan State University.
Did you know that Morgan State University has educated more than half of the African American engineers, educators, and healthcare professionals in Maryland?
Welcome back to the beautiful campus, Morgan State University. We're at Hughes Stadium. Lexter Taylor along with Jackie Bowe. And Jackie, the first half was unbelievable for Morgan State with 35 points, 185 yards on the ground. Majority of those yards coming from the sophomore Devin James, 116 yards on the ground. Big time first half for him as we're getting set to kick off this third quarter.
Like a shootout at the OK Corral, believe me, real shootout. 28 points for the Bears, and Central still looking to get any kind of a score in this football game.
Jonathan Skeet set to kick off for Morgan State. Back for the Eagles has been Deshaun Spears, who has been very quiet, and Tony McCord for North Carolina Central. Looks like Spears and McCord fighting for the ball. McCord comes up with it, and he is met immediately First half stats, North Carolina Central. Stafford Brown was 6 of 13, 2 interceptions, 35 yards. You see the rushing yards for Central. Difficult afternoon for them trying to run against this defense. First down conversions, 2 of 7 for Central. Time of possession pretty even, but I think the story has been the rushing of the Bears.
Well, there's been a lot of rushing going on by the Bears, and the scoreboard indicates that as well. And Central's been doing a lot of rushing too, but it hasn't added up to any points.
So the Eagles will take over in the third quarter here. 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line, and Stafford Brown, the senior, is still the quarterback. He hands off to Schenkel, who is met immediately by a host of Bears on the defense.
The Den can be very proud thus far. They've done an excellent job defensively all day long against the offensive line of Central.
Lonnie Harvey was there along with Bryson Tate, Beaumont, Texas, sophomore. Good, one of the better pass rushers on this Morgan State team. A loss of 1 now for the Eagles. Single back formation, 2 receivers to the near side for Brown, as they really have to mount some type of offense here. Brown's pass is incomplete, intended for his tight end DeMarcus Hill.
Brown has had a difficult afternoon in trying to get on track with his throwing arm so far. And so far in the first pass we've seen him just throw, it doesn't look like it's gotten much better yet, but still young in the first half. He may still get into the swing of it yet.
Chris Williams was on the defense that time, the sophomore from Miami. One of the many Floridians on this football team for Morgan State. Coach Donald Hill's done a wonderful and a tremendous job of just recruiting out of the state of Florida. That is considered one of the hotbeds for high school talent. And he is doing a great job there. It's 3rd down and 11 now for the Eagles. Shotgun for Brown. Pressure.
Got a receiver? No. Well.
Brown's pass is incomplete.
You know,
intended for DeMarcus Hill, and Susan is on the sideline with Morgan State band director. Susan.
I have Melvin Miles with us. So how do you feel about the band's first performance?
I'm very excited about it. I think we did a really good job and things were very clear, and it gives us a really good foundation to work on. We got, you know, it's the first performance, and so there's some things that we need to polish up on, but really I think it went well, very well.
What can we expect in the future for this?
Oh, more music, more stuff, more things that are going to be happening, a few more exciting ideas that we got bouncing up, particularly some more popular things. We wanted to go with sort of an old school effect on this one. The students are kind of amazing to me because they like the old school music, and so it was very interesting and challenging for them, but we thought it was a good mix for the day.
Hey, congratulations on that $1,000 check, Honda Battle of the Bands. Absolutely,
every little bit helps, but there's a great thing that Honda's been doing with HBCUs all over the country as they go around and they give $1,000 to every HBCU band in the country, as well as, of course, it helps to promote the Honda Battle of Bands, which is a great, great venue for African-American bands in this country.
Great, thank you. Jackie, Lex, back to you.
So it's 1st and 10 here for the Bears as they get their first possession in the second half. Devin James is the ball carrier, and immediately the Eagles defense stops him at the line of scrimmage.
That was a good little fake by Jackson, the quarterback there. I mean, he fooled me for a minute. I thought he had the ball, did a good job of the handoff, but the Eagle defense also equally as well did a good job of coverage.
Troy McConico is giving credit for the tackle, the nursing major. Can you imagine a nurse coming to you at 6 feet, 220 pound, former linebacker, and he's a nurse.
Yeah, but you also pay attention.
2nd down and 12 here for the Bears. James alone back in the backfield. James with the screen here. James with room, gets past the 50, the 40. Here comes James in the open field. James getting outside, and he is stopped. What should have been a touchdown for James was stopped. Miguel Johnson, the sophomore, saves the touchdown.
Oh, look at the coverage here. The quarterback with the little toss over to James. James now in his own personal foot race. Good block there for him. Cuts back up the field, and look at him just go. Cruising down, little dip in, back out to the outside, and he's caught on the outside. Pretty good defensive coverage for the defensive back with an open field tackle.
We talked about at the start of the game about Chad Simpson, the 2007 MEAC Player of the Year. Well, Chad was the running back here at Morgan State. Devin James learned a lot from this guy, and he's already over 150 yards rushing in this contest.
I told you at least 200 today, and I felt that strongly. And it looks like he's not too far away from that.
Keith Lee, the ball carrier that time on first down, and you'd see Devin James, as we told you at the start, Carlton Jackson, the quarterback, and James played together in high school. They also played against each other during the Little League days, and James used to play linebacker, and he said that he popped Carlton. Carlton's like, no, I popped you, so they've got some stories to tell. Now they're college teammates, and they look pretty good in this contest. 2nd down and 12 for Jackson and his offense. He keeps it this time, and he is stopped immediately. Looks like Donald Laster with the tackle.
They didn't move the ball very much. Maybe a yard. It'll be a 2nd down, maybe 11 yards for them. And as they try to keep this drive alive down inside now the 19-yard line for Morgan.
Carlton Jackson, 6 of 12 in the first half, 53 yards and a touchdown. Transfer from Akron. He is a quarterback, came in to camp, didn't expect to start. Kind of beat out Jeremy Glover for the starting job. 3rd down. Pass is intercepted. Great defensive coverage by Curtis Campbell, the junior from Radford, North Carolina, comes away with the pick.
You can really say that's the first break they've had in the the second half. Here we go. Sets up for the throw right across the middle, and good defensive coverage. The back steps up right in front of it, comes away with the interception. The ball's going to be at the 3-yard line. 1st and 10 for Central.
Just good defensive effort that time by the Eagles. They are not trying to kind of give up, and that's what you want from your football team. You don't want them to give up, and Central has done a good job of trying to stay into this football game. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles at their 3-yard line. They give it to McCord, Tony McCord, who has been kind of lost in the rotation in this game. He had some pretty good carries, I think, in the first half, 6 carries, 37 yards, but they kind of like went away from this guy.
I think the Eagles need to gamble some now, and that's play right here. They ought to go for a 10 or 12-yard pass play up the field. Everybody's expecting them to play it safe. They played it safe for most of the afternoon. They've got to take some gambles now to try to get back into this game.
10.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Morgan State with a commanding lead, and Central trying to do something here. Brown's pass is complete. Guyton there with the stop, and it looks like Mario Wayman with the reception.
See, right now the Eagles are doing the safe thing, 5-6 yards, but they got to get the 1st down. That was okay, but there's still now more pressure to try to make it on the 3rd down, and now Morgan will be looking for the pass, and everybody else in the stadium will be looking for the pass, so they won't surprise anybody by throwing the football at this point.
Correction, that was Wayne Blackwell with the reception. That's his 2nd of the game. He's been very quiet in this contest. We thought the two would have great connection, but it hasn't been that way so far. 3rd down and 3 for the Eagles offense. McCord is rocked that time by Justin Lawrence. Big number 36, the defensive end out of Jetersville, Virginia. Switched his number this year. He was wearing 52 last year. He's wearing 36 now. A lot of it has to do with they use him on offense also. He scored a touchdown against Towson. This guy's a big-time player.
I'm trying to say McCord is able to walk back straight to the huddle. He got rocked.
So that'll bring up 4th down and 2 here for the Eagles. And they will have to punt with 9:07 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Morgan's going to come up with some decent field position on this. Should anyway.
Taylor Gray. high punt here for Jay Wilson back for Morgan State. Wilson trying to find a crease, and he is tripped up close to the 50-yard line.
I would say about an 8-yard return for him, so pretty good considering the coverage that was downfield on that return for him.
Derek Harvey with the stop. Coach Donald Hill Ely and company. Their offense has looked pretty good. The defense has looked pretty good. Coach Hill Ely has produced 4 All-Americans, over 20 All-MEAC performers, and 2 MEAC Player of the Year. One of them was Chad Simpson. The other was Mr. Littlejohn. I know you know something about him. First down and 10. Devin James, the ball carrier. I know you remember Littlejohn when Morgan would play Norfolk State.
Yeah, everybody remembers Littlejohn when they played Norfolk State because he had an opening. Well, we won't talk about that.
Bradshaw Littlejohn. He was a big-time player here at Morgan. He really had their offense going. One of the top quarterbacks in all of college football during his time.
Well, when you think about the number of professional athletes that Morgan has put into the NFL, it's just phenomenal. And it goes back to the early days from even when they had their rivalry with Grambling.
2nd down and 8 now for the Bears at the Eagles' 45-yard line. Jackson again hands off to James. James bouncing outside, trying to get something going on the outside, and there's Lassiter with the stop. Another big carry for Devin James. And we're going to go back to the sideline with Susan Stark.
Hi, we got Mr. and Mrs. Morgan. So what do you think so far with the game?
The score shows it all, 35-0. Go Bears.
And what is it like representing Morgan State as Miss Morgan?
It's amazing. It's such a prestigious institution, and it's great to be the representative of all the students here.
Great. Thank you. Back to you.
3rd down and 9. Thanks, Susan. Jackson pressured up the middle, and he is tackled, brought down by Jaquez Canty, the sophomore from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, coming straight up the gut.
Again, I'm expecting the flow in this game to pick up for Central. They really need to pick it up here. But take a look at this play right here. QB has the time. And look at him. They have him well covered defensively that time, like a cheap suit. They're all over him.
4th down and 15 for the Bears. They're going to punt here. Jonathan Skeet Spears is the return man. He called for the fair catch, bobbled the football.
And he was lucky. Real lucky. And, of course, they get the football back, and they'll have to go to work right there from the 22-yard line.
6 minutes, 43 seconds. Play here in the 3rd quarter. Donald Hill Ely and his team doing a pretty good job. 4-2 in home openers and 9-12 in non-conference play. This is considered a non-conference game because Central is in the independent school right now. But a great job, I think, to get his team prepared for this football game.
You know, when teams declare themselves independent, they're also doing a transition on players and improved players coming to their schools, and you will see more and more athletes of higher quality entering North Carolina Central. It's going to be a transition.
1st and 10 for the Eagles. Pitch out to McCord. He races to around the 32-yard line, close to the 30-yard line, excuse me. And again, Guyton was there to make the stop.
And we got an injured player as well on the field for North Carolina Central. And not a lot of movement on the player. It looks like number 65.
Mario Bryce,
okay,
one of the offensive linemen for the Eagles.
Looks like maybe a possible leg injury.
Rock Hill, South Carolina. 6:25 to go in the 3rd quarter. Morgan State leading Central 35-0. We'll be back.
Morgan State University ranks #1 in the state and among the top 20 campuses in the country in graduating African Americans at the baccalaureate level. We have given great emphasis to improving quality of our programs, the quality of our facilities, the quality of our services at the university. Athletics is indeed important to the university. It's also, of course, one of the ways of raising the visibility of the university and otherwise improving the quality of life on the campus. Given the demographic, given the increases in the African American populations, increase in Hispanics and other minority groups, I think that the historically black colleges will continue to play a major role in providing the workforce for the next century and beyond.
Welcome back to Hughes Stadium. Lexter Taylor along with Jackie Bowe. Susan Stark is on the sideline. And Jackie, we've had a very, very powerful performance from the defense of Morgan State. You see there with a great defensive play.
No question. It's been their kind of afternoon thus far.
Second down and 2 here. Brown finds his receiver, Will Scott, on the reception. That's not the type of play you want there, Jackie.
Lexter, the offensive coordinator, is going to have to go a different direction. That will not win a ball game for him with, trailing 35-0. He's got to look downfield, and that's the only focus he can do. It's got to be downfield.
Well, up next for Morgan State, they travel to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, to take on the Rams. And then you see another big game on their schedule with Rutgers. And we can't forget about the 2 games at the end, A&T and Howard. Looks like Morgan's going to be playing Howard for homecoming at Howard's homecoming. 3rd down and 5 for Brown. He is intercepted. Jarrell Guyton looking like Earl Campbell as he waltzes into the end zone for the score.
Well, that just made it a little bit harder for North Carolina Central. Again, we talked about looking downfield. He was into 2- and 3-yard plays. Take a look at it. He throws it right up in the line area where most of the players are standing right there. And, of course, there were enough men on hand to get the interception for Morgan, and they go in with another 6 points.
Well, Stafford Brown came into this game. He's thrown a touchdown in 13 consecutive games dating back to 2006, and he's just throwing touchdowns for the other team in this game.
5 Morgan players were around the ball when it was thrown. Somebody had to get the interception, and somebody did.
James Meade with the point after, right through the uprights. So with 5:33 to play in the 3rd quarter, it's been a Morgan State whitewash here, 42-0 over the visitors from Durham, North Carolina.
We need to take a look at the end zone down there, too. Those men have been doing push-ups all afternoon. Every time Morgan scores. Look at this. Here we go. With the return of the interception, 6 points for Morgan. And no offensive crunch here today. I mean, no shortage. They're just really taking care of business.
Well, Coach Donald Hill, he may want to think about putting Jarrell Guyton on the offensive side of the ball. He looked pretty good on that run. I tell you, the offense and the defense of this team has North Carolina Central right now scratching their heads trying to find some answers in this contest, and so far they have been unsuccessful in 3 quarters, and that's what you were talking about, the push-ups.
Oh yeah, I'm glad they're doing it and not me.
We need to be down there. That's what we need to be doing.
I'll be glad to help them count. No problem.
Normally, they have these promotions where you get pizzas and you get toppings and things like that. These guys are doing push-ups. Can you imagine if they score 50 or 60 points? It would be crazy.
Better make my prize not pizza but spinach.
Morgan, we get a chance to look at North Carolina Central's schedule. They've had another road game coming up, Central Connecticut State, and then they finally get home but they're actually playing that A&T game in Charlotte this year. So that's going to be another road game for them. As McCord here.
Most of Central's games will be on the road this year anyway, as they're making that transition. It is an expensive venture, and it's tough winning a game on the road anywhere you go in any league. It's just tougher.
North Carolina Central is going to be traveling to all over the place, 5 different states: Virginia, Maryland, Connecticut, South Carolina, and California. A lot of miles for that Eagles team, as we see some unity with the cheerleaders here as they walk the track at Earl C. Banks Field at Hughes Stadium in Baltimore. It's 1st and 10 now for the North Carolina Central Eagles. Handoff is to Tim Schenkel.
That's a good run for him to pick up the first down on it, Lexter. But again, that's also time consuming. Time is running out. You're 42 points behind. You're not going to get it on running plays. They got to throw the football. And I realize it's been disastrous for them when they have, but that's on the win. The name of the game is to win.
Jody Ellis with the stop, and you see the replay here. Jody Ellis, the transfer from Illinois, he's done a great job. Got an interception. He's a hard-hitting guy. He caused a fumble earlier. This guy, just a sophomore, he's going to be a player to watch in the rest of the season for the Bears. 1st and 10 now for the Eagles. Handoff straight ahead to Schenkel. No gain on the play. Immediately he's met by the big boys up front. Troy Leftwich, he is walking off the field.
Tough 1-yard pickup for North Carolina Central. And again, time being a factor. 4:54, still in the quarter. And the Eagles need to start scoring on every play.
No gain on that one. 2nd down now for the Eagles. Stafford Brown. It's been a nightmare performance for him. Nightmare game in his return back to the Washington, D.C. area. Pressure from the middle. Brown gets this one away, goes out of bounds, incomplete. And Stafford Brown, that's been the type of game he's had. A lot of pressure and a lot of turnovers.
You know, you raise a good point about the pressure. The pressure is there, true. But Stafford Brown cannot throw that run-out rolling pass. He gave up 6 points in the first half throwing that pass before. He didn't appear to be any more accurate by throwing that pass. I think for him to be effective, he has to drop back in the pocket and hope he can set up to throw the ball downfield.
We've been kind of hard on him, I think, in this game. And he's an outstanding talent. But it's just one of those things you can't really perform if your offensive line is not protecting you, and they have not done a good job of keeping him comfortable back there in that pocket. So it's 3rd down and 9 with 4:28 to go in the 3rd quarter. Morgan State with a 42-0 right now slaughter going on here in this contest. Not what we expected from these two teams.
Lexter, you said we've been unkind, but we're not the ones that have been unkind. It's been Morgan that has been unkind, and they have 42 points to show you their spirit of kindness.
Very hospitable performance from the Bears in this game. Stafford Brown finds time, finds his receiver, Will Scott, on the slant. He's going down the sideline, racing down the sideline, and finally pushed out by Jody Ellis. But nice run that time by Will Scott. He's been quiet in this game. He has been productive, but it just hasn't been enough for the Eagles.
Nice little pass as he goes up the sidelines and finally bumped out of the bounds of somewhere around the 20-yard line. I think it's about a 35-yard pickup. That's the biggest play they've had all day, and I might have to check the numbers on whether it's 35 or a little bit more. But my quick calculation.
So it's 1st and 10 now for the Eagles at the Morgan State 21-yard line. Just under 4 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Handoff immediately is met in the backfield again. Morgan State is just, their defense is just everywhere.
Well, see, right now, all you have to do is just be on the line because they know their offense all day long, for the most part, has been the run. Now, they just picked up 30-plus yards with the little short pass across the middle. Why didn't you go back and try it again?
Fred Davis with the kiss with that big hit. This guy, Fred Davis, not part of the starting lineup, but he has made his presence known, the redshirt freshman from Pompano Beach, Florida. Another member of that Blanche Ely squad. Brown's pass is to McCord out of the backfield, and that was a good play that time.
That was a good play for him. Tony McCord with a little swing pass, if you will, and a little spin move in the middle. We'll watch it here in the play. Look at the QB goes back, sets up in the pocket, a little swing pass out, and look at that spin move right there in the middle to break free, pick up some big yardage for North Carolina Central, and still it's going to be a third down play for him.
It'll be 3rd down and 5, and Coach Rison trying to open up that playbook and get his team something on that scoreboard. Stafford Brown has had pressure all afternoon from this Bears defense. 3rd down and 5 here. He tries to go with the draw, and there is no room for Tim Schenkel. He is met immediately.
They're still trying to run, it looks like off guard, off center plays, and it hasn't worked for several plays running it in that area. They're big up front.
George Howard with the tackle, comes straight up the middle. No one touched him.
Well, somebody touched him, all right.
The junior from Deep Creek High School in Chesapeake, Virginia.
I know
with
where
the
that
tackle. 4th down and 10. As field goal attempt here from one of your favorite guys, Brandon Gilbert.
A little short and a little wide away.
Field goal attempt, no good by the senior Brandon Gilbert, which we really haven't called his name much in this contest.
Got him from out of Graham, North Carolina, and hopefully they were trying to get something on the scoreboard at this point, but again, they come up short, and they've also burned up a lot of time as well in this period as well to come up on the drive with no points.
42-0, Morgan State all over North Carolina Central. Welcome back to Hughes Stadium. 2nd down now for the Bears, who switched quarterbacks, and they've gone with Keith Lee in the backfield, and he is stopped outside. There is a marker on the field. The new quarterback in the game for Morgan State is Jeremy Glover, senior from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Probably not a bad idea to take a look at your second QB. Give him some game experience, because you never know about this game of football, who may show up, who may not show up, who may get injured, who may not get injured, but you got to have another horse just in case.
Penalty is against Morgan State. They've got a tremendous performance from that offensive line today. They call themselves the Trench Mob. Some big guys up front. We probably should be playing with them guys up front, man. Those are some big tackles, some big guards, 300+ pound linemen.
Collard green eating guys, you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what that is. 2nd down here for the Bears. 18 to go. Clock running down as Keith Lee gets the handoff. He falls forward.
Nice little run to the outside. It's going to be, well, not quite close enough. Maybe he didn't get the first. Let's see. No.
20 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. It's Morgan State trying to just run some clock here. Not the type of game we expected at the start. Not really a shutout going here.
It's not the game that Central expected either. They've got the biggest surprise thus far in this game. And sometimes I often wonder, what can they do to try to get into the flow of trying to turn some things around?
Well, it looks like Jeremy Glover and company will just let the quarter in. That will end the 3rd quarter with the score. Morgan State 42, North Carolina Central nothing. Aaron McCain on the sideline and congratulating his teammates for a job well done. After 3 quarters, I mean, they've done a great job, sensational performance from really both sides of the ball for the Bears. And you see the Morgan State faithful, and now the band of Central going back to Durham. It doesn't matter what the score is, the band is still going to be the band. They're going to perform and entertain the crowd.
Oh, they did a great job of entertaining the crowd, and now we need the football team to entertain the crowd because they've had a tough day at the office. They need to really get out here. And what Central is doing right now, the way things are going, they may not win this game, but they have to start to turn some things around in this football program that will get them ready to win their next game. And they need to start by looking at some different ideas and looking downfield for a deep receiver.
So it's 3rd down and 10 for the Bears. There's Glover under center now after replacing Carlton Jackson, who had a pretty decent game. Glover's pass intended for E.J. Morton Green, sophomore from Cincinnati, Ohio, transferred from Miami, Ohio, wasn't able to pull it in. So it'll bring 4th down for the Bears.
Pretty good defensive coverage there for North Carolina Central. Watch the play here as the receiver goes upfield down to the 30. So it takes it a little wide to the outside, try to catch him with his back turn, but pretty good coverage on the part of the DB for North Carolina Central.
So Jonathan Skeet will punt here for the Bears on 4th and 10. And Spears is back deep. This is a high punt here. Gets to the 50, a nice bounce and go out of bounds. So the Eagles will take over with 14:47 to play, down by 42 points.
And the ball's going to be marked somewhere about the 45-yard line to get it underway here. And of course, as we take a look at the coaching staff here at Morgan State University, I'm sure the coach is very pleased at this point in time in the game, going into the 4th quarter, leading 42-0.
Absolutely, 42-0 is not the is not what you thought of. You know, if you're in Central, you don't think you're going to get blanketed right now. They're blanketed, which is amazing performance. We knew Morgan State's defense was good. We just didn't know how good their defense would be this season, and they have performed quite well. Look at the numbers. Carlton Jackson for Morgan State finishes with 7 for 14. It's 1st and 10 at the 45 as Brown fires to Will Scott for the reception. Those two have been connecting a lot this afternoon, and great combination.
I disagree. They have connected a lot. But that was a huge play. And yes, we've been talking about going downfield. You got to take some looks downfield. They came up with a big play. That's a huge play for Central, and they need to do it a lot more.
Well, Stafford Brown has 11 completed pass, and 4 of those have been completed to Mr. Scott.
Yeah, but you said a lot. 4 passes.
It's 1st and 10 for the Eagles at the Morgan State 18-yard line. Handoff is to Schenkel. Guyton is in the middle of that pileup.
Why, again, do you have to keep running the middle? I mean, there's some off-tackle plays that you might want to take a look at. Something between the tackle and the wide receiver. I mean, you got to be a little bit more creative than just trying to run the middle, where Morgan has blocked it up 98% of the time all day.
Yeah, Jarrell Guyton, we've said his name a lot. Stafford Brown came into this game 4th on the career passing touchdown list for North Carolina Central. Has not thrown a pass. He's thrown 4 interceptions so far. Stafford Brown again is pressured. Not much you can do if you're the quarterback when you're getting pressure like that. George Howard with the stop. 245-pound guy. Great speed on that end. One of the big time linebackers on this club. Extremely tough and very fast.
All right, I tell you, it's looking a big 3rd down play here for them. They need at least about 15 yards to pick up the first. So now it won't be a surprise to Morgan. They know a pass should be coming. They haven't tried any delays through the middle either. Might be a good chance to take a chance on that at this point.
3rd and long, and Stafford Brown sees something he doesn't like. He calls timeout. 12:58 to play.
Well, it's probably not a bad decision to talk about the issues. Certainly with that amount of time and that kind of lead, they want to make sure that they at least get the play or the look that they're trying to get.
Brown has 42 career touchdowns, and right now he is one short of his record. We'll be back with more football.
This opportunity for exposure for Morgan State athletics is significant to us. It's very exciting. We look forward to having the opportunity to enhance the mission of the university through sports and showcase our athletic ability on the field. We feel that the mission of athletics and the role of athletics within that mission of the university is to extend the boundaries of the institution, help build the image of the institution, and reach out into the community throughout the United States through competition and sports. Our vision for the Morgan State Bears is, simply put, we like to measure ourselves in terms of championships and degrees. And with that vision in mind, we feel that we can enhance and supplement the mission of the institution, which is to educate minority groups in the state of Maryland and continue to be a leader in higher education throughout the United States and, of course, the region.
Welcome back to Hughes Stadium. Lexter Taylor along with Jackie Bowe. And Jackie, so far the defense of Morgan State has pretty much done everything Coach Don Hill-Ely has expected. Boss Rising has been confused with what's been going on in this game, and he's just hoping his offense can do something here. 3rd down and 13 at the Morgan State 22-yard line. Shotgun here for Brown. Pass receiver in this guy.
Touchdown.
Scott for the score. And Brown's touchdown streak continues.
That was a big play for North Carolina Central. And first time they've done it all day. Here we go, right across the middle. Look at that throw. He can do this. Look at it. Perfect. Right across the middle. We've been talking about a deep threat all day long. I was not surprised to see that they were going to throw on that play. They had to. There was no choice. Extra point looks good, too.
And the Brandon Gilbert extra point is good. So 12:53 to play in this contest. Morgan State 42, North Carolina Central 7.
Now this game has gotten to the point now that they're looking for respect, if nothing else. So I think we're going to see more of the passing arm going on for Central the next time they get the possession of the ball. And I think we're going to see more plays like that going across the middle.
Jackie, your guy, Brandon Gilbert, the kicker, 86 consecutive extra points. Now it make it 87 consecutive extra points for him, dating back to September 5th, 2005. That's a long time to have consecutive streaks going.
Yeah, it is. Glad he got a chance to sort of keep that record intact. The North Carolina Central cheerleader.
That drive was 4 plays, 55 yards, 1 minute and 54 seconds, and it was capped off with the touchdown from Brown to Mr. Scott.
Look at the Central bench. See 1 or 2 smiles, but everybody knows that they didn't do their job today so far. They have not.
It has been a long day for that Central team, and for the Bears, I know they have 12:53 to go before they can start celebrating. You know they're ready to rock and roll. Brandon Gilbert set to kick off here for the Eagles. And it looks like the Bears have their best hands return team in the game, preparing for possibly an onside attempt by Gilbert and the Eagles.
Lexter, I would say the play to watch might be around 5 minutes or less in the game, right around the 50-yard line. Watch one of those Gatorade coolers. They have a tendency to disappear.
Well, the Bears were able to hold on to that return. Terrell White took a big shot, though, but he was able to protect that football. And the Bears will take over.
You know, when you look at the two body signs of these two teams, there's no doubt you can see clearly which team is winning. More pep, not showing that they're really tired in the eyes of the Bears. Look at the player right there. Comes over, takes a little breather.
Well, you said it was 26 years since the last time the Eagles visited Morgan State. 1982. It's a long time ago, man. Long time ago. What were you doing back in 1982? Tell me that after this play here. 1st and 10 for the Bears at the 50-yard line.
Great year.
Avery in motion, handoff, straight ahead. Looks like Keith Lee on the carry.
1982, I was young and tender, like
Young and tender.
Yeah.
Let me see if
details of 6.
Let's see if you remember any of this. Herschel Walker, you remember him? Won the Heisman at Georgia. Remember that guy?
Well, no, he changed my diapers.
What about we were introduced to Michael Jordan back in '82 in the NCAA tournament, Georgetown, Carolina.
NBA.
Big shot freshman.
Oh yeah.
2nd down and 1 now for the Bears. 12-12 to go here. Morgan just trying to run some clock. Keith Lee, Greensboro native, with the handoff.
Now, that's the problem you're going to see in this game now. Morgan has no need to rush. All they need to do is just eat up the clock a little bit at this point in time. I don't think they're really that interested in gaining any more points. But Central, on the other hand, is going to have to try to get the ball back quickly and go for bombs.
Go for bombs is correct. Jeremy Glover, who started during the summer for the Bears team and kind of lost his job there at Carlton Jackson, the transfer, just shined a little bit more for the coaching staff. 3rd down and 1. So Avery goes in motion. Handoff is to Lee. Again, he goes forward. Maybe 3 yards. Looks like it may be enough for a 1st down, Jackie, as Curtis Campbell comes up with the stop.
Well, they're moving the chain, so that's a definite sign that it was enough for a 1st down. So the lineman has definitely given them the signal to say 1st and 10.
We talked about Morgan State's history and how they have some players who are in the Hall of Fame. Roosevelt Brown comes to mind, Willie Lanier, and the 2 Cleveland Browns, Lynn Ford and Leroy Kelly. I know you kind of remember some of those guys.
Well, you know, I used to be a Cleveland Browns fan, but I changed my allegiance several years back. Pittsburgh. Oops, I didn't mean to say that.
Okay, as Lee gets another carry for the Bears. He loves gospel music, and right now he's getting an opportunity to sing with the ball carrier, as you see here with the replay.
Well, right now Morgan State is doing what they want to do. They're eating up clock. They're still moving the ball. They're about 2.5 yards away from getting another 1st down. And if they make this one, that eats up more clock.
It's got to be a luxury to have the kind of backs the Bears have this year with Keith Lee and Devin James toting that football. 2nd down and 3. Great defensive play by Miguel Johnson, the sophomore from Gainesville, Florida, getting in the way of that pass intended for Diamond Avery, the redshirt junior from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Riverdale Baptist. I went to Riverdale Baptist here in Maryland when I was in junior high school. So got to give Riverdale Baptist some love there, Upper Marlboro, Peachey County.
Why should we do that?
Hey, man, you wanted to talk about Norfolk State.
No, I didn't say anything.
10-16 to go. 3rd down and 3 now for the Bears. Handoff is to Lee. He is met immediately in the backfield.
Is Riverdale Baptist in the MEAC?
It's not.
Oh, okay.
It's a private school.
I know. I was pulling your leg. Spartans on. Anyway, getting back to the game, 9:52 remains, and the Bears still on another drive. 4th down play here. What are you going to do? They're going to gamble a little bit?
Yes, they're going to run the ball. Hey, here's a score for you. Kent State 24, Dale State 3. That was a big victory for Kent State. 4th down and 4 for the Bears. They're going to pass.
First down.
Glover was supposed to run the football. He decided to go to number 12, Mario Melton, who was the quarterback here for Morgan State last year. Kind of lost his job a bit. Now he's catching the football.
Yeah, he's from High Point, North Carolina, so it's amazing. All of these schools are doing a good job of getting talent from in the surrounding areas and really utilizing these players and their best ability.
We haven't talked a lot about Glover because Jackson had a phenomenal first half, but Glover looking pretty good on this drive. The Charlotte, North Carolina native. 9:02 to go. 1st and 10 for the Bears at the 30-yard line. At the 20, looks like that's the 25-yard line. We've got a timeout on the field. Glover not liking something, and I tell you, if I'm Coach Healy, you don't want a timeout there, but we're going to take a break here, and we'll be right back.
What's your destination?
They say the path chosen today prepares leaders for tomorrow. So I chose academics, excellence, and a diverse culture. My choice was clear. I am a graduate of Morgan State University.
Did you know that Morgan State University has educated more than half of the African American engineers, educators, and healthcare professionals in Maryland?
Welcome back to Hughes Stadium. Lexter Taylor, Jackie Bowe, 42-7 is our score. Morgan State with the commanding lead here with 8:28 to play. And Jackie, we've seen Keith Lee carry the football. He is doing a good job filling the shoes of Devin James, who we replaced earlier. Shotgun for Glover, hands off to Mr. Lee. Stops, breaks, 3 into the end zone. It's Keith Lee. He fumbled in the end zone, and the officials have not given him a signal yet, so we don't know if it's a touchdown. They're calling a touchback as he fumbles in the end zone.
We're going to need to take a look at that one because that's interesting. I thought he broke the plane, and, well, let's see. We won't get into a judgment thing. Here we go. First of all, how did he get out of there? I mean, looked like a box of Tide in the middle of the washer. But he comes out. I thought he had possession long enough for a touchdown, even if the ball pops straight. Let's look. No, he lost it. He lost it. Good call by the officials.
Looked like he lost the football right at the end of that play. But a great run here by Lee. Great vision. He makes it through the line of scrimmage, and it's off to the races here. And just at the final break there, he just couldn't hold on to the football. Good defense by Curtis Campbell, who has been a name we've called a lot in this game.
We got an injured player on the field, too, and a great call by the officiating crew. You know, we talk about the officials sometimes, or some people call them the zebras. But anyway, they did an excellent job on the call on that play. And if we can talk about them, we can also brag about them.
Yeah, Keith Lee, Dudley High School. I mean, this guy's the backup. He's had a pretty impressive game in his here at Hughes Stadium. He's done a wonderful job running the football. And they, you know, you talk to the coaches, and when you talk to everyone here at Morgan, they know they have two good backs. Everyone knows about Devin James, but Keith Lee is the guy that a lot of people talk about and say that he can do big things. And in this game, in a backup role, he has looked phenomenal.
All plays upfield, watch.
First down and 10 now for Brown and company for the Eagles. And another interception for Mr. Brown. This time is 55 George Howard, the Chesapeake native, with the interception. And Brown, just one of those days, as the song says, just not happening for Mr. Brown, Stafford Brown, as he throws another interception on the game.
Well, I mean, sometimes, too, you have to take a look at other players. And I'm just wondering if Central might not need to take a look at some other players. I mean, you know, when sometimes it's not just because he's bad or just it's not your day. And you need sometimes to change the creative juices, if you will.
5 picks now for Morgan State defense. First and 10 now for the Bears. Hand off straight ahead to Lee. He is stopped immediately.
I'm waiting for the entire bench to clear off from Morgan and get into this game. I want to see some dirt on all the pants out there today because they deserve it. This has been an overwhelming game for them.
There's a player on the field down for North Carolina Central. It's been one of those days for Spears. Not what he expected coming into the contest. Really thought we'd see something exciting from Deshaun Spears, who's one of the playmakers on this Eagles football team.
You know, Spears has given 110% today. No doubt about his credibility as an Eagle, and done a fine job. It looks like possibly a little injury to the leg. It doesn't look real serious at this point because he's able to leave on his own power, and that's certainly that is encouraging for him as well as for his teammates because he's truly one of the better players.
Gail Johnson, the injured player, walking off the field for the Eagles.
Morgan Bear getting that party on, huh?
A lot to celebrate in this game with 7:30 to go. 14-7. 7 turnovers for the Eagles. Lover in the end zone. Incomplete.
I think we're going to see a lot of that coming up with Morgan now. At this point, they got nothing to lose. So now they're going to practice their downfield game even against Central.
Robert Stewart, good coverage that time for the Eagles.
Third down, about 13, still to pick up first.
Stewart is a freshman out of Washington, D.C. Another Washington, D.C. native, went to Dunbar High School. Same high school Stafford Brown went to. 7:19 to go here. And Morgan State calling timeout. Not what Coach Donald Hill wants. His team's up by 35. You don't want your team calling timeout.
You know, one school I hear call in this area a lot lot of programs at Dunbar High School. They have put their share of talent out in a many programs all around the country. Just a phenomenal school.
Well, don't get it confused. There's two different Dunbars. We'll talk about that when we come back after this break. 42-7, Morgan State.
Rewards members take 2 round trips on Acela, they get 1 free. Visit Amtrak.com for details.
They say the path chosen today prepares leaders for tomorrow. So I chose academics, excellence, and a diverse culture. My choice was clear. I am a graduate of Morgan State University.
Did you know that Morgan State University has educated more than half of the African American engineers, educators, and healthcare professionals in Maryland?
Welcome back to the campus of Morgan State University. We're at Hughes Stadium, Earl C. Banks Field. Morgan State with a 42-7 lead right now. 3rd down and long. The handoff is to Lee. Keith Lee, the backup tailback for the Bears, who replaced Devin James, who looked sensational in the game.
I think Keith Lee has played sparingly in this game, but he's been effective every time he's hit the field for the most part. I think he represents a lot of promise in the running game here at Morgan State.
So James Meade now is in the game to attempt the field goal to try to add on to this lead for the Bears.
About a 30-yard attempt.
Meade's kick is no good as it goes to the left. But you can't be perfect.
That's next week's practice. Get the kicking game on track. But he hasn't had a lot of opportunities to go out there other than kick extra points. So that part of the game will come still.
North Carolina Central will take over. 6:35 to go. Donald Hill Ely, who, you know, he's had some sadness in his family. He lost his mother a couple of weeks ago, Angela Holman. So our condolences goes to Coach Donald Hill Ely of Morgan State. Today he has a little bit to celebrate with this 42-7 debacle at home.
New quarterback number 14, Keon Williams.
Well, they brought out a new quarterback.
Keon Williams is the signal caller.
And yet he came out with a running play, and maybe he had to do a running play at that point to sort of get him warmed up a little bit to the game, get into the flow if you can. And but he's got to pass the football, no ifs.
Another road game for the Eagles, and I know they can't wait to get home and get some of that home cooking. But for Morgan State, very impressive victory. If looks like it's going to hold up here. They prepare to travel to Winston-Salem in their next game. Eagles are just trying to just run some clock here and just kind of get out of here.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Ball carrier.
It looks like they've kind of given up on this game at this point in time, and certainly they know they can't win it with 5:34, but I still thought I would see some more threatening action downfield.
Jeff Tolliver in the game for the Eagles now. 19 for Morgan State. Troy Leftwich with that stop. So it'll be 3rd down and 11 now for the Eagles. Keon Williams.
Always gonna look upfield.
Not a lot of time for Williams. Goes outside, he'll keep it. He was pressured again by that defense. Morgan State's defense has been pressuring the quarterbacks all day. 41, Bakari Smith.
The more I think about this Eagle offense, I think about it looks as if the quarterbacks are geared to more running, more of a running game with their offense as opposed to the passing game, because they run, I would think 80% of most of their plays have been with the run game. The few times they've tried to throw the pass down the field, they were successful on a couple of ventures and certainly with a touchdown score, but overall it hasn't been that effective.
1st down and 10 now for the Eagles at their 31-yard line. There's a flag here. Williams passes dropped by the tight end. Marcus Hill.
That didn't help.
Had it in his hands, couldn't hold on. But there is a penalty marker down. I think this one is against Morgan State for offsides.
Offside, 37, 5-yard, repeat, 1st down.
Okay. That might help out a little bit for the Eagles. 1st and 5. Ball's at the, 36?
Yeah, he had this one in his hands. He just could not pull it in. Maybe he was looking at Gary Parks, who had a clear shot to kind of ring his bell there.
Worst place to throw it to him, right in his hands. And he couldn't hold on.
1st down and 5 here. Halfback delay. Nowhere to go.
Actually lost about a yard on the play. Just great defensive coverage on behalf of the defensive front four for Morgan State, who has taken care of business all day long. They only gave up 7 points, so what can you say?
Jeff Tolliver, the ball carrier. Wilson Banks was there to bring him down immediately. Loss of 1 on that play, so it'll be 2nd down and 6. Williams and company. Not found a rhythm in this game. Pressure. There's a wide receiver screen to Corey Harris. Big game for the Eagles.
And look how they did it with passing. They scored with a touchdown. They moved the ball best with passing, and yet they don't seem like they utilized that skill enough for me and almost in this entire game. And it could have maybe made a difference early in this game.
Looked like they were a little overwhelmed with the offense of Morgan State in this contest.
But you have to counter also with your offense.
Big game
if you can.
For the Eagles. It was 1st and 10. The 46, they go with the slant this time. Back to Harrison. It's incomplete. Couldn't hold on. Good defense that time by Darren McCain. He has had a very big game for the Bears.
Now, I'm not going to blame all of the quarterbacks for some of the drop balls that we've seen in the last series of plays. Apparently, a lot of the receivers are not used to seeing the ball come to them too often, so therefore they're dropping passes that are beating them in the arms. That was a catchable ball, in my opinion, and so the pass a couple plays earlier was also very catchable. Matter of fact, he actually caught it, but just didn't hold on.
2nd down now for the Eagles. Single back formation. Williams pressure from up the middle again. This time Bryson Tate with the sack.
Now Morgan has done a great job defensively in making the adjustments. They realized they got burned on a couple of passing plays, so therefore now they are applying more pressure from the line, which they haven't had much problem in really getting to the QB anyway.
Tate with the stop, the sophomore from Beaumont, Texas. One of the better pass rushers on this team. Third down now for the Eagles. Williams, two backs in the backfield, along with Williams. Williams steps into the pocket. He kind of overthrows his intended receiver, Marion Wayman.
Well, Wayman got in the game earlier, but I haven't really seen him involved as much as I thought he would be in the game. And right now, it looks as if Central has elected to take a look at some other people on the receiving end of the football as well, and they're getting a whole different range of receivers in the game.
2 minutes and 26 seconds to play in this game. It's North Carolina Central still fighting. If you're a coach, you love to see this. Your team, the second unit, still in here trying to execute. And Williams throws another interception. Racing down the sideline, untouched, is number 21, Rodney Antine.
One thing I can say about that pass too, and I'm sure we'll probably take a look at it, Williams was being hit as the ball was being released. So, you know, that certainly had a lot to do with that interception as well. We'll take a look at it right here. Look how he goes back in the pocket, forms up, but just as soon as he releases it, he's hit.
Tine just races down the sideline, and there was no one there even close to
Number
stop
78
him.
couldn't have gotten him. He ran right past him.
James Meade is once again in the game. He's had a lot of work this afternoon.
Extra point by number 35,
I guess that's why he can't kick the field goal. He's been kicking so many extra points. Foot is worn out there a little bit.
49-7. Morgan State all over the Eagles right now with 2:10 to play. And the story has been the defense of Morgan State. They've given them pressure, and they've gotten interceptions and turnovers. This one, an easy score.
That was, well, yeah, it was an easy score. You think about it, with the pass and just run right down the sideline. The last man to get you was a lineman. He looked like he was about 340. No way in the world he could have caught him, and he didn't. And consequently, here we go. Look at it. Here he goes again. Wobbly pass, too, because he was hit as he released it. And look at that sprint right up the sideline.
A lot of it, Jackie, has to do with the pressure up front, the front four. They're getting a good job, doing a good job of putting pressure on that quarterback. And Coach Moss Rising, just one of those days. You throw this game away. You look at the film maybe for like 30 minutes. You just throw it away, man, and you prepare for the next week.
Well, you could say that. Devin over there, he's got reason to celebrate.
That's Hardeman, Willie Hardeman with the on the sideline celebrating. That must be the new trend.
Hey now!
Here we go.
Skeets kickoff to McCord, and McCord nowhere to go. So 2:03 to go in the contest. Morgan State 49. And the Central Eagles of North Carolina 7. Long road back, long drive back to Durham, North Carolina for this Eagles team. Just could not find answers offensively or defensively to really make this a football game.
You see the Eagle band as they depart. Apparently they're not going to march out of the stadium. It's been a hot day, warm day in Baltimore. 85, 87 degrees today.
First and 10 for the Eagles again. They keep it on the ground. We do have a penalty marker, though.
And that stops the clock with 1:56 remaining in the ball game. And we talked about the weather conditions here certainly being a factor. It's been a hot day in Baltimore, believe me, and the humidity has been right up. We also, when I got here, I was told that it was a 50% chance that we're going to get a thunder shower possibly involved in this game, but that hasn't happened, and the skies look pretty clear, so perhaps the storms will be forthcoming a little bit later this evening or possibly tomorrow.
Carlton Jackson shouting out his mom. Should get a shot of the magnificent marching band of Morgan State.
They're magnificent now, huh?
That's the name.
Is it? The Magnificent?
Magnificent marching band of Morgan State.
All right.
Thought you knew.
And crew.
Magnificent.
And crew.
And crew.
Yes.
2nd down and 10 now for Williams and company. The Eagles still fighting in this football game despite the score.
Getting bumped around in his own backfield and not much going. And now it looks like they're just playing ball protection as opposed to throwing any more passes. We may not see any more passes come from North Carolina Central tonight, and they're just going to take this one on the nose.
Kevin Myrie with the tackle. Corey Hamilton, the ball carrier, a little small, very small 3rd string running back for the Eagles. 5'6", 170-pound freshman out of Detroit. So you're clearing the bench here with 1:15 to go. I formation, 3rd down and 12 for the Eagles. Again, they give it to Hamilton. He scoots outside and he is rocked by the safety. Big time hit. Avery Norris. That one right there will knock the cobwebs out of you.
That was a crushing blow. He'll think about that one for a lifetime because that was just a spectacular hit on the poor man. Glad I didn't receive that lick. Here we go again. Look at him. Got the ball protected. Oh, look at that.
Avery Norris, the senior from Houston, Texas, with a big-time hit. Houston being hit right now with Hurricane Ike. Our prayers goes out to those families down there. We thought we were going to have some issues up here. Hurricane Hannah was the big tropical storm that hit this area a couple weeks back. Now you got Ike down in the south, and it's really hammering the Gulf Coast states of the United States here.
That was huge. I mean, really huge, and I'm waiting to see other reports on that as well.
22 seconds, 0.4 remaining, 49-7. Morgan State right now. Looks like they're gonna just
they're gonna kill the clock. I just don't really see them trying to get another touchdown.
Looks like they're gonna take a knee here.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. Well, maybe not. Some of the rookies might want to go get a touchdown like right now.
They're still handing the ball off. This time, looks like that was number 28.
You know, when you're really beating up on the team the way Morgan is in this game, sometimes when you put a rookie out there, he wants to show the coach what he can do. So, you know, they're trained to score. So the rookie's going to try to get in the end zone.
Number 28 was Steve Taylor. And the clock is Morgan's gonna let the clock run out. That will end this football game. Morgan State 49, North Carolina Central 7. Coaches will shake hands. Donald Hill-Ely will get his first win of the season. And a very big season home opener for Mr. Donald Hill-Ely, a big win. He'll have to travel to Winston-Salem, have a big game waiting for him there with the Rams, Jackie.
I bet you that was a tough handshake to receive from the two coaches there. When your team kind of didn't show up this afternoon with a 49-7 beating, and just tough to look a man in his eye and what do you really say to somebody like that? But anyway, it's a team's meeting greet as they depart in the spirit of sportsmanship. I've enjoyed the game today. It's always good when you come back with family and friends, and this has been a great game. The fans have been very appreciative. North Carolina Central came out with a great support group from the schools like they always do. The Central Band was always there, and they've done a good job. And we've got Susan down on the field with the winning coach. Susan, where are you?
So, Coach, your team showed no mercy on the field. How do you feel?
Well, I mean, we still got some corrections to make. I mean, they played well. I think the second half offensively, you know, we moved the ball and made some blunders here and there. You know, it's tough playing when you're up by that many points. You know, a lot of success that we had, and we'll build off of that and getting ready for next week.
Did you expect to do as well as you did today?
Well, I know the talent is in place, and, you know, like as we told them all week, once you come together as a team, that's when we'll start making plays and we'll start having success. And today they played together all three phases, and we're real pleased with the output.
Do you think you can keep the momentum going for the next game?
I have all hopes and all desires, and we'll work to keep it.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, I guess there's something to be said for having home field advantage. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Susan. And as she said, 49-7, a lot of home field advantage for Morgan State. Right now, they knocked off North Carolina Central. We'll be right back with more.
What's your destination?
They say the path chosen today prepares leaders for tomorrow. So I chose academics, excellence, and a diverse culture. My choice is clear. I am a graduate of Morgan State University.
Did you know that Morgan State University has educated more than half of the African American engineers, educators, and healthcare professionals in Maryland?
We make it easy to get involved by offering you a lot of fun choices like sports, student government, music, theater, dance, literature, and much more. NCCU's 109 campus groups are as varied as the students who join them.
Welcome back to Hughes Stadium. Our final score, Morgan State 49, North Carolina Central 7. And Jackie, we just saw a landslide from the Eagles, from the defense of Morgan State. Their offense and defense, phenomenal job.
Lex, it's been a phenomenal day on behalf of Morgan State. Beautiful campus, great weather overall in terms of clear skies and sunshine, if you will. But on the field was a storm for North Carolina Central. And who was controlling the storm? The Bears from Morgan. They really just stomped today, and the school board indicates that. They really took a good old-fashioned, yes, they did, a spanking on the, yes, they did.
Well, Jackie, for the rest of our team here at HBCU Sports, you're Jackie Bowe. I'm Lexter Taylor, saying so long until next time. Thanks for watching.
Okay.
Navy! Whose baby you done got? Oh, Lord. We need to put you away then.
He doesn't have to call him Johnson. He doesn't have to call him Johnson. Huh? Yes. That's a good question. I don't know if we're going to do all because they're. Gotcha. Okay. Today's game is brought to you by Publix Food Store, where shopping is a pleasure, and by ParadiseExit.com, the latest in fashion, music, dining, and more, and by Russell Athletics, and by Spalding, and by Church's Chicken. Okay. Okay. In the Paradise, the latest in fashion, music, dining, and more. Okay. All right. That's all right. Today's game is brought to you by Publix Food Store, where shopping is a pleasure, and by ParadiseExit.com, the latest in fashion, music, dining, and more, and by Russell Athletics, and by Spalding, and by Church's Chicken. Thank you so much.